Rediscovering Gita for the Modern World by Shrikant Soman. Based on essays on Gita by Sri Aurobindo. Chapter 6. Man and the Battle of Life. Continued from the previous episode 51. The Gita's realistic approach to human nature. Episode 52. The Gita's philosophy for a fighter. The role of the Kshatriya. Ancient Indian versus modern social systems. Key takeaways. The Gita is for a man of action. The Gita's teachings are specifically addressed to a fighter, Kshatriya, a person whose duty is to protect others and uphold justice through war. The Kshatriya's purpose, the function of a Kshatriya, goes beyond physical combat. It includes the moral duty to protect the weak and maintain right and justice in the world. Ancient versus modern social systems. Ancient Indian culture, in contrast to the modern system, prioritized individual nature and temperament. Spirituality as the highest ideal. The ancient Indian system viewed man as primarily a spiritual being in development. Segregation for spiritual development. The careful division of societal functions, thought, war, production, labor, was designed to provide each individual with the right means to progress spiritually, tailored to their specific nature and temperament. Main passage. The fighter in Gita. Gita is therefore addressed to a fighter, to a man of action, one whose duty in life is that of war and protection. In the first place, war is taken as a part of government for the protection of those who are excused from that duty, debarred from protecting themselves and therefore at the mercy of the strong and the violent. Secondly, by a moral extension of this idea, war is necessary for the protection of the weak and the oppressed, and for the maintenance of right and justice in the world. Indian conception of the class, Kshatriya, has incorporated all these social, practical, moral and chivalrous ideas. Kshatriya is the warrior and ruler by function, and a knight and king in his nature. It is true that we are mainly concerned with ideas of the Gita having more general and universal application, and not restricted to a particular class of people or nation or culture or even religion. However, for the purpose of better understanding the doctrine of the Gita, we need to consider the context in which the ideas in the Gita arose. The ideas which were influenced by the coloring and trend of peculiar Indian culture and social system prevailing at the time. That system differed from the modern time in its conception. To the modern mind, man is a thinker, worker or producer, and a fighter, all in one. The tendency of the current social system is to lump all these activities and to demand from each individual his contribution to the intellectual, economical, and military life and needs of the community. This is done without paying any heed to the demands of his individual nature and temperament. The ancient Indian civilization laid peculiar stress on the individual nature, tendency, and temperament. It sought to determine by it the ethical type, function and place in the society of a man. It did not consider man primarily as a social being. It did not consider the fullness of his social existence as the highest ideal. It primarily considered man as a spiritual being in the process of formation and development. It placed his social life, ethical law, play of temperament and exercise of function as means and stages of spiritual formation. Segregation of function in society. The functions of the society were carefully differentiated as follows: thought and knowledge, war and government, production and distribution, labor and service. Each of these functions was assigned to those who were naturally called to it. It provided the right means by which they could individually proceed towards their spiritual development and self-perfection.